Massive changes are coming to Marvel Rivals for Season 2.5, which comes out next week, May 30th. Between the new hero Ultron, 6 new team-ups, and a bunch of balance changes, the personality of the dive-tastic meta of Season 2 is certainly taking a turn. Ultron is going to be a flying-based strategist with consistent drone healing and a beam attack. That alone being an option for healing would certainly be strong up against any ground attack-based dive hero. They're adding a new game mode that appears to be an auto-battler as a cozy alternative to watch the explosions of the heroes without the high intensity of actually playing the hero shooter game. I was a big fan of Loop Hero and still to this day Hearthstone Battlegrounds, particularly for Marvel fans that find the main competitive game a bit too taxing. I could see this being a good alternative. You're going to get to see your Lord icons in the Hero Select screen, as well as new mood emotes. And the big Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament has its major regular season kickoff starting June 5th. Here's the new team-ups. Venom teams up with Jeff, who gains the symbiote power to attach to his teammates to heal them. Now, if we only could get our Jeff players to play next to us to actually heal us, maybe that update comes in Season 3. Punisher teams up with Black Widow to give her a piercing attack, augmented on her sniper scope, and with improvements to her mobility and her stun, she's steadily been creeping up in viability over time. Luna Snow teams up with Hawkeye to empower an arrow that penetrates through terrain cover, and it does more damage the farther it travels, even stunning foes if they're far enough. Penny and Rocket get an insane team up for anti-dive. Penny gets an extra spider nest that also drops armor packs, and Rocket's BRB gets even more overpowered. It now spawns spider webs, spider drones, and mines. Yeah, make sure you go clear the beacon. Good luck with that one. Iron Man and Ultron team up, giving Ultron unibeam lasers that pierce everything in its path, damaging enemies and healing teammates, kind of like Moira's Coalescence, it sounds like. Storm gets a team up with Jeff for a big improvement on the Fire NATO. Now we finally have a Sharknado, dealing extra damage, looking more silly, or amazing, depending how you look at it. And Jeff still does devour the enemies at the end of the Cyclone. That's insane. Does this mean Jeff can have 2 team-ups at once? With Symbiote Heal and the Jeff NATO? How does that work? 4 of the old team-ups are going to be going on the shelf for now. Jeff's team up with Luna enabled him to be one of the best flankers in the game. The new team up will make him actually play with his team a bit more. I don't know if I've ever seen the Allied Agents team up ever do anything. Infinite Ammo from Rocket surely was very good, but the new Penny Nest might be better. And for you dive haters out there, Symbiote Bond going away from Spider-Man surely will help the anti-dive gameplay that they seem to be going for in Season 2.5. Also, Iron Man is removed from the Gamma Charge team-up, which now will just be Hulk and Namor. The devs outlined the balance that's going to be coming next week, and honestly, between the team-ups and the new hero alone, that's already going to shake things up, but they're boundly determined to make the game a bit more frontline focused, nerfing Groot and slightly buffing Strange and Magneto, and nerfing the durability of Captain America's enduring survivability and Emma Frost's diamond form. Further nerfs to Iron Fist, Human Torch and Psylocke, and buffs to Squirrel Girl, Punisher, and Storm. They're gonna make Luna ult more expensive, but make her kits slightly buffed. Jeff is going to be retuned for a new experience. I bet that means they're tuning back his solo survivability in exchange for more healing throughput. They're also nerfing some of the existing team-up abilities. The Fantastic Four goes down a bit, Hulk Namor, and Emma Frost Mag Psylocke. With all of these changes, there is no way we are consistently in a dive meta with unkillable tanks. With a Groot nerf, the frontliner shield tanks will be a bit more dominant, along with their buffs. And while buffs to Storm, Squirrel Girl, and Punisher look scary because they're very anti-frontline, if they are the best, I think that tends to push the meta more Magneto-focused, who has infinite block anyway, with his Iron Curtain, and a natural counter to Punisher and spam damage in general. Simply having a permanent flyer option in the strategist role surely will help have an anti-dive option, at least for the Black Panthers and Venoms of the world, who are a bit better at diving down. No further Spider-Man nerfs here, though. They seem content with that range nerf they gave him, but also losing the invulnerability frames and damage combo with the team up from Venom going away is surely going to be a soft nerf to him anyway. I think that auto battler came out just a little bit too late because a lot of strategist players that were getting bombarded with dive focus surely would have played the auto battler instead. Playing support in this game sort of feels like an auto battler to begin with. I'm curious which team up you guys think is the strongest. I think the biggest jump in viability is Penny. Try to keep in mind that Rocket's team up for infinite ammo was kind of looked down upon because Rocket didn't have a defensive ult. Well, of course they did change it and buff it to make it into a defensive ult as well. But even before that, infinite ammo was heavily underrated. I think it's bold moves for them to give the snipers utility team ups. Hawkeye getting a frost attack, Widow getting a piercing beam, which I'm curious which shields it pierces, if any. Like, it pierces enemies, but does the damage go through strange shield? We'll have to test that. In any case, while in some ways the entire community seemed to be screaming to get us out of a dive meta, Rivals did the typical Overwatch 1 thing where they changed the meta based on the heroes and in their case the team ups as well, which already would have probably done a lot, but then with the numbers tweaks going through as well, they're really pushing the game towards a poke meta because a brawler like Groot could overrun the shield tanks before, but if his numbers go too low and Punisher, Black Widow, and Hawkeye all get better, more viable, with more protection around them, with a res beacon that has penny traps. Keep in mind, anytime that penny nest expands, then the spider drones can go attack on it. So while that second nest doesn't extend the web, the rocket beacon does. So on some maps, you're gonna be able to make a labyrinth of mines. More effective now with the second nest in play, and then the rocket beacon also acting as a nest. Some serious floor is lava going on. Like, if that's too good and poking is just better, well, poke counters the penny nest anyway, right? So diving, just forget it in season 2.5. The counters are going to be immense. Some of my favorite heroes perhaps stand to be a bit more playable in this meta. I've gravitated most to playing Hulk and the Thing, and then Star-Lord for Duelist, who somehow never gets complaints when it comes to the dive meta issue. With bans in ranked starting in gold, though, there's a bit of a problem that if they make anything a bit too good, it's just going to get banned almost every game anyway. So ideally what you want for your character is for them to be low-key good and not target banned. While the community was up in arms about the diver characters, I must say, I'm not sure it's going to play much better if the snipers are amazing again. They got Hela into a very balanced, reasonable state for at least the 99%. I've already felt Black Widow has been creeping up, where specialists on the character can counter dive if they master the stun. I've noticed that the Marvel Rival community really just needs to go through the growing pains of these things, because I'm telling you, a sniper meta is probably worse for this game than a dive meta. But you know, these new hero shooter kids, they grow up so fast. I'm pretty excited to play the new content and the new meta coming next week. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave it a like, and don't forget to click subscribe and the bell icon to actually get notified when my videos come out. That's been it for me. I've been Frito. I'll see you guys next time.